Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so, why don't you hit the subscribe button for us? It does help us out. Do you have a PSP 1000 with a damaged screen? Whether that's a few lines, some dead pixels, or completely smashed? Well, it's not a fragile screen, but fortunately, it isn't expensive to replace, and it's very simple. So, if you stick around, we'll show you how to get it done. All right, on the bench today, we have a PSP 1000 in need of a screen. We did one on a 2000 before, and I will link that above. It's really a pretty simple job on these ones. Unlike trying to work on the UMD, the screens on these are really pretty straightforward, and anybody with a small screwdriver should be able to do it. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. First thing to do is just get the battery out. And normally there's a warranty sticker right across the bottom here. Obviously this one's already been into. So we only need to remove these two edge screws and these two from the case. And they're just standard Phillips. So a small double-aught Phillips should be able to take them out no problem. Unless they've been cross-threaded. We might have to deal with that one in a second. All right, so why isn't this guy coming out? Sometimes whenever we get these in, other people have worked on them. Screws aren't necessarily in the right position. All right, and this came off, but sometimes they've got the wrong screws in. And you just got to deal with it. Now, the cover already came off of my hands, but so there should be another screw in the bottom. Now, the 2000s and the 3000s have some other top screws, but this one doesn't. So the cover should come off like that. And something else that had already fallen out was a start button. And this happens quite a bit. I don't try to glue these back into place. When we reassemble it, we'll just set these in and set it down. So I'm going to set that aside for a second. Now, if the old screen's damaged, you don't have to worry too much about getting it out. This one only has one line in the top when I looked at it. So I'm going to be careful about getting it out. And on the 1000, there's a few clips across this metal mount on both sides. And our buttons are on a metal tray. So the first thing we want to do is get this tray out of the way. And anything pointy, small, should be able to push it off of its little nub here. And once the one side's off, the other kind of gets out of the way too. Now, you don't even have to disconnect the buttons if you don't want, but if you want a little bit more room to work, all you got to do is lift the bail and it'll come out. Now onto the screen. Like I said, you could just get in it and pop this out, but I'm going to try to save this one because every once in a while I get someone in with a totally smashed screen. They don't really have the money to to replace parts. So this one with only one row of bad pixels could be beneficial to somebody else. And you can see, you just get underneath the tabs with a spudger or a pick or even a thin screwdriver, and you can release it pretty simple. Like that. And like that. Once we're out, it's pretty easy to see where our ribbon's connected. This one lifts up from behind. This is our backlight. And this one lifts from the front. Because of the length, I like to use 2 fingernails to lift it out. If you grab it from the center and you pull it, or you grab it from one side or the other and pull it, you can actually break this little bail that's on top. And we definitely don't want to do that. But once it's open, you can see the screen just slides right out. Pretty straightforward on this one. Now our new screen, which actually came from an Amazon supplier, which, by the way, I'm an Amazon affiliate. I will make links below to the parts. This is just a standard replacement, and this is actually, you can see, it even says Sharp on it. This is a factory replacement screen. These are coming down in price. The nice thing is there's been an IPS kit that has come out for the PSP, and it's not horribly expensive. It's about $45 as I recall. But because the upgraded screens came out, the OE screens have dropped in price by quite a bit, as I believe this kit's only about $20 for the replacement parts. So this just goes in reverse order. Put your ribbon in under the bail. Make sure it's in square. Use 2 fingers. Snap in place. If this gives you any resistance closing that little bail, it's because the ribbon's not in the whole way. So back up, make sure that you didn't capture hair or dust or anything, and just go in again. And then we got our little backlight. Make sure the bail's up. And it should just wiggle into place, like that. Once it's in, the bail will click down. The new screen, don't put any pressure on it. One side in place, use our little spudger. That's pretty much it. This particular kit came with a new surround, and we can install that. This is a good time to go ahead and wipe off any fingerprints that may be on the screen, and it will remove any residue so we can put our new surround on. If your kit doesn't come with a surround, or you use a different brand, don't worry, it's not 100% needed. we can put our buttons back on now. Make sure it's in square. Put the bail down. Line up one corner, and the other should snap in place. If it's not being stubborn. There we go. So that's more or less the install. Since we're in here, we can clean the inside of the lens, make sure we didn't leave any fingerprints. And like I was saying, since we have a loose button, go ahead and set it into the tray and then set your console back into it this direction. Never use any well, I'm sure the customer would like to have his bumpers put back in. These have a tendency of falling out while you're working, so it's best to just remove them. On the 2 and 3000, they're captured a little better. What I was going to say is don't ever use any super glues on the inside of this shell. It can actually cause damage, and super glues will outgas, and it will haze the inside of the screen. And the last step is the battery. There we go. And that's about it. So, if our battery's charged, we can give her a test, although we may have to charge it up. Well, we got a green light. Let's see what we get. And everything looks fine. As you can see, PSP screens are very straightforward, very simple to do. There's no reason for an end user to not attempt this one, unless if you just truly don't have the tools. And that's about it. So, if you have any comments, any questions, go ahead and you can ask them down below. I try to respond to everything. Thanks to all my new subscribers who have recently joined. And if you're not a subscriber, why don't you hit the little subscribe button for us? It does help us. And give us a thumbs up while you're at it. I'll see you on our next video. Thanks.